Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sangeetha Kowsik. I am the creative director and founder of Asian Design, and a award-winning multidisciplinary creative studio based out of New York City. I'm also the Hindu chaplain for NYU and Columbia Universities and founder of NYU Hindu Center. Pivotal moment for me was when I was born and raised in Fremont, California, and I moved to New York City at the age of 17 to attend Parsons School of Design. When I was 16 years old, in California, growing up in California, I was always made fun of for being too religious. And when I was 16, I used to cut high school. I hated high school like most people do. Most immigrant children born and raised here in the USA had trouble fitting in. I used to find solace at this temple, a church converted into a Hindu temple in Fremont, California. And I would go there when I was 16 years old, cut school or during lunchtime and go to the temple and just sit there surrounded by the beauty of my faith. And there I had a moment where I was surrounded by this beauty. I am part of an ancient tradition. Hinduism is the oldest living faith tradition in the world. Looking at this beautiful temple and at the beautiful murtis, not idols, we're not idol worshippers. I had a calling, thinking, how can art and design be used, art, design, and faith be used to unite diverse communities, cultures, and faiths? That marked a moment in my journey to use faith, art, and design to unite diverse communities, cultures, and faiths, and educate and make a difference in this world. So when I attended Parsons and I studied fashion, I realized that what if fashion can be meaningful, can be used to educate, can be used to bring people together. And I believe faith is something that unites the entire world. But when you're educated correctly about faith, that is what leads to more appreciation and compassion. Trudy?
Okay. So, what I was hoping is that you tell us your story, your journey to getting to where you are, like what we discussed in our discovery call. What were the ups and downs of your journey to get to where you are now? What were the challenges that you faced?
Sure. So ups and downs and challenges that I faced was, first of all, I'd mentioned that I am Indian American. My parents are from South India. Growing up in the United States, in the Bay Area, everyone had, the community we grew up in had a plan for people who were born and raised here. You study either finance, medicine, doctor, engineer, lawyer, go to a top UC school, go to a top Harvard, MIT, one of the Ivy League schools, get married, have children, buy a huge house, have a bunch of cars. Art and design were frowned upon because immigrant communities, they come to the United States for the American dream to pursue higher studies. They are too busy making money, studying really hard, trying to get their kids into good colleges, that spirituality, art, beauty, design all take a back seat. We all know that being a creative, any kind of creative, whether you're a designer, an artist, a poet, a painter, an actor or actress, is a difficult path. But for me, my journey, my calling was always to create. And also my firm faith in Hindu belief system also propelled me to pursue design at Parsons. I overcame so many challenges, being told I could not do this, being told that I wasn't going to make money, I wasn't going to make a living. But against all odds, I actually wanted to go to Central St. Martin in London. But you know, good little Indian girls don't go across the globe to go study fashion. Because my hero is Lee Alexander McQueen, the fashion designer. I ended up going to Parsons School of Design, which is also one of the top fashion schools in the U.S., and studied fashion. So much against my parents' wishes and much against my cultural background, I was able to attend Parsons School of Design. And I graduated in fashion. And my first boss out of college was J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, and superstar J-Lo, which was a lot of fun working for her. And I worked throughout fashion, beauty, luxury, major companies, Tiffany and Company, Estee Lauder, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, you name it. And the turning point is I became the head designer for the Metropolitan Museum of Art for close to 5 years. I am the first woman of color, first Asian, first Hindu ever to lead a design team in their 150-year history. So despite all the challenges, despite all the setback, despite all the negativity that I've had to endure growing up, saying that creativity doesn't pay the bills, design doesn't pay the bills, I was able to succeed. Nobody can take that historic job opportunity about leading design at the Met away from me. First woman of color, also was able to work on blockbuster exhibitions there, like my hero, Lee Alexander McQueen's Savage Beauty, Picasso, the reopening of the Islamic galleries, where I received a degree in Arabic calligraphy. A Hindu received a degree in Arabic calligraphy, Picasso, plus many other exhibitions. So for me, it was a wonderful moment. It was a wonderful time leading design work.
That is just an amazing experience and life that you've had so far. So, when was the first time that you realized you didn't fit into the path created for you?
Essentially, when I was very, very young, growing up, when I entered high school, probably was the turning point. When I was 14 years old, I started reading Vogue magazine. I started Marie Claire magazine, Mademoiselle. I was always into beauty and fashion, yet my community wasn't into it. And also looked down upon to draw and paint. I won a lot of awards as a painter, as a young artist, but to pursue that as a profession was always looked down upon, because the number one profession that everyone praised was becoming a doctor, was becoming an engineer, was becoming a lawyer, a finance person. So for me, being able to make an income off of design, to be able to showcase my artwork in galleries, to lead design at the Met, to design for big beauty brands is, for me, made me very happy. And also to show others that you can succeed in creativity, you can succeed in art and design. I also established the internship and mentorship program, especially for women of color and international students, while I was at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, to give opportunities for others who look like me to come and work at a museum.
That is just incredible. So, how did your community respond when you chose a different path?
Oh, well, Trudy, my aunt thought I sold paintings on the side of the road. She didn't think that I actually made paintings and show in a gallery. Because when you say you're an artist to people, that's what they think. The stereotype is starving artist, which is
Yes.
not correct. Because yes, sure, it is difficult. The path is difficult as a creative in any creative profession. But if you have a passion for something, you will succeed.
Yeah. I think your passion really carries you and it comes through. Your energy is just electric.
Thank you.
So, what does it mean to be a woman of color, navigating both tradition and individuality?
So, being a woman of color, there's a lot of stereotypes that are thrown our way as a woman of color, and
Mm,
it's up to us to break free of those stereotypes, break free of culture, first of all, of cultural conditioning, of generational trauma, and be able to heal from these things and propel ourselves forward. For me,
mm,
as a Hindu, it's people don't know much about my faith, especially in the West. It might be the oldest living faith tradition in the world, but
yes.
in the Western world, they equate being Indian with being Hindu, which are two dramatically different things. For
Mm.
example, arranged marriage. They all think that Indian people have arranged marriages. Not true. Hindu faith, not one Hindu deity had an arranged marriage. But so that's a stereotype versus faith. So culture versus faith.
That's amazing. Now, let's talk about your faith and spirituality. How did spirituality become your anchor during those moments of isolation?
Well, for me, my father built three Hindu temples in the United States, including the very first one in Flushing, New York, and I was raised in the Shiva Vishnu Temple in Livermore, California. My mother also trained me in Indian classical music, all of and dance, Indian classical music and dance, all which stem from worship. So for me, in moments of darkness, I turn to my faith because I see our stories. It's not mythology. I am tired of people calling Hinduism mythology when our stories happen. This is history, Hindu theology and Hindu history. So in moments of darkness, I would turn to different stories within my tradition. There are so many stories of the divine coming to help their devotee in any kind of circumstance that they had, whether it was back in the day, history, like fighting a battle, like trying to win the love of somebody that they really want to get married to, or they're dirt poor and they need finances. It's always the divine that comes to help. You read these stories, you also sing these songs because you're trained in these traditions, you dance these repertoires, and it gives you a closer connection to the divine. That's what Bharatanatyam is, Odissi is, Kathak is, all these like Indian classical dance forms. You're praising the divine, you're reenacting the stories that took place.
So, what role does faith play in your decision making today?
Faith, for me, I believe that there's a gentle, that's what faith is that there is a gentle force behind every decision that's being made in life, that
Mm,
there is a gentle pull that shows my path. Because in the
mm,
Bhagavad Gita, for example, Lord Krishna says that we're all part of his Leela. We're all part of this play. That we're all actors in this divine play, and he is the director. So it's to have ultimate faith in him that everything's going to be okay. Him, her,
mm.
it, them, theirs. We use every single pronoun in Hinduism.
All it is.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
How do you explain spirituality to someone who feels disconnected from it?
Well, I say, well, there's a lot going on right now in the world, and it's easy to feel completely disconnected. It's easy to feel angry, to feel sad, but
Mm,
but faith is something that keeps one going in life.
wow.
Whether it's any religion you on take in this world, everything tells you that you must have faith in the divine, and that divine lives within yourself as well too. See, for Hindus, it's like we can imagine uh, the divine as someone seated up above you, like not like completely detached from you, or you can see it as the divine lives within yourself. So when you say namaste, namaskar, namaskaram to somebody, it literally says, I bow to the divine in you. So that's what faith is that to have faith in yourself, that the divine is right there sitting within your heart, within yourself, that it
Yeah.
will be okay. Even though you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, it will happen for you. And to
Mm,
take those steps in order to get to that light and to just hone your relationship with the divine.
yeah, that
Whether
is
it's through
beautiful.
ritual or whether it's through music, whether through its dance, whether it's through talking, journaling, listening to a preacher, listening to different satsangs, Kawali music, anything. Anything can connect you to the divine.
That's true. So, what was the hardest decision you made in choosing yourself over approval?
I mean, hardest decision I made, choosing myself, because s- sometimes, Trudy, it's like the pull of creating is too much for me. I love to create. That's what brings me joy. Going to the temple, seeing the divine, sitting through 3 hours of puja at the temple brings me joy. All of this is part of me. So it's like that's why I choose this over what anybody else says. Yes, it is very strange for someone born and raised here to be super religiously Hindu. I'm not culturally Hindu, I'm religiously Hindu. I like
Yeah.
going to the temple and I like taking part in all those religious festivities. Again, that's the there's a difference between religion and culture. And
Yeah.
so when people say why you would rather go there than say go hang out at a bar for 3 hours or whatnot, because that brings me joy. Sitting at the temple, making flower garlands, whatnot, than getting drunk at a bar. So I choose myself and I choose that joy over this joy. I'm not judging. Do whatever makes you happy, but
Yeah.
I don't want a headache the next day. So, mhm,
I love it.
mhm.
Do you ever doubt your path? And how did you move through that doubt?
Oh, all the time. All the time. Doubting your path, because first of all, you graduate from college, you expect to get a good job, you expect to have a level of success by the time you reach 30, by the time you reach 40. But
Yes.
and so because you see others and you compare yourself to someone who has a huge house, who has a family, who has this and that, but then you realize that's their karma, their path in life, their dharma,
Yeah.
not yours. There is no reason to be jealous of others, because everyone born, this is very Hindu philosophy, but everyone born on this earth has their own dharmic path. They has
Mm,
their own karmas to burn through. That's their your good and bad deeds from your past lives.
mm,
So for me, it's like the more I read about the philosophy and the more I listen, the more it makes complete sense to me. And so it's like,
yeah.
yeah, I would always doubt myself. Why am I a creative? Why can I just like wake up one day and be a doctor and actually make money? Because honestly, doctor, you're always going to have a job. Someone's always going to throw up. Someone's always going to give birth. You have a job, you know? So it's like, but as a creative, does everyone need a pretty painting or does everyone need a new scarf or a pair of earrings or whatnot? But beauty. But then I realized beauty is what connects people. Beauty is what makes people
Yeah.
happy. So you have a purpose in this life. That's how I keep going.
I love that. And it's such a reminder to all of us just to remember everybody has a purpose. So, what does courage look like for you now compared to when you were younger?
Courage for me now is to be completely honest and truthful. I don't hide anything anymore.
Mm,
I used to be so nervous when I was younger. Like, should I say this? Should I not say this? What are people
yes.
going to think of me? Now I don't. I'm like, this is who I am. Take it or
Yeah.
leave it. I will explain who I am. I'm not being aggressive, but I will explain, like, this is who I am and this is where I stand. And if we disagree, we agree to disagree. So I don't
Yes.
yeah.
I love it. You're very unapologetically being yourself.
Thank you.
Now, in terms of impact and legacy, you've created opportunities for women of color. What
Yes.
drives that mission?
Well, first of all, for me, it's I went into an unknown field. There was none of my parents' children, parents' friends' children ever went into a path that I took. And so,
Mhm.
and also going into the museum, I was also shocked to see how Eurocentric everything still remains, even though there is art and design and beauty from cultures across the globe.
Yeah,
Why are people of color not telling their own stories? Why are all the
yeah,
Hindu labels so messed up? Why is there no African curator in the African department? Why is Latin America there's no Spanish speaking curators there? It was mind-boggling for me. It's not
yeah,
just this like gratitude to like work. Yes, I am grateful I was able to work there. I am. It is gratitude for me. But also to create opportunity for others who might not have the chance. because it's like, let's be real, a lot of these institutions, a lot of these places are very gate kept. People who
Yeah.
have a lot of money and who give donors, their children can be docents, their children can work there. What about the children who are born of these cultures, who are born from immigrant parents who have to work 5 jobs to keep a roof over their head? But this child
Mm.
has a great potential to be a curator or potential to work and explain their culture, their faith, or whatnot. They need opportunity also.
Yeah, opportunity is the thing that's missing for most people of color. And
Yes.
it's
Mhm.
beautiful when we rise and we remember to pull others up with us. That's where the change will come. So, what is the message you most want the next generation of women to hear?
I want them to hear that you can be anything you want to be.
Mhm.
Don't let anyone or anybody put you down. If you have a passion, if this is your true dharma or your calling, your path in life, then go for it. There will be
Mm.
challenges. Honestly, you have to keep in mind that there will be challenges. Nobody has an easy path in this life. There's not
Yeah,
one person who it's all honey and roses for them. Everyone
yeah,
has challenges. Everyone is able to face adversity and move past these things, whether it's your inner demons or outer demons that you cannot
yeah.
control, you move forward.
I love that. Now, if every woman listening today took one step towards her truth, what would that step be?
To be honest,
To be
what really makes you happy, what's really your passion, and to pursue that. Just because everyone around you is getting married and having babies and buying huge houses doesn't mean that's your destiny. Maybe
Yeah,
you would like to travel the world. Maybe you like to have a huge cupcake shop and that makes you happy.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
choice, your life.
Yeah, I think we're so busy comparing and looking at others and just forgetting to focus on self, right?
Yes. Hmm.
When you start focusing on yourself, that's really where your power lies. But it's
Absolutely.
so easy to forget that sometimes.
And that's when
So,
meditative practices come into play. Meditative practices, being able to pray, when you pray to the divine, whether it's in a church or a mosque or temple or whatever it is, that connects you to yourself and it
yeah,
connects you to the divine. It makes you stop comparing yourself to others. I know it's very difficult with social media and AI and all of this stuff that's come about. But see, the way I also see it in my faith, we're in the Kali Yuga, the age of destruction. Mankind will rip itself apart due to technology and stuff. There will be technological advances, but also people will rely so much that they will forget to have human connection with each other,
yes. Yeah,
right?
that's so
Hmm.
true. We're already seeing that.
Yeah. Hmm.
The impact is already visible.
Hmm.
So there's a version of you that almost chose the expected life. What would her life look like today, do you think, if you had gone down that path?
I mean, I don't know. I think I would have stayed at UC Santa Barbara and studied something like I don't know what it would be, but for me, I can't even imagine that life because for
Mm,
me, it's too like basic life would have been like I don't know to pursue engineering, software engineering, or something like that, right? But
yeah.
but I can't even imagine my life like that. It's like
Mm,
for me, I had a passion to create, to paint, to design textiles, to do fashion design, to do art. So it's like for me, that calling was so strong. It's not something that I could, you know, suppress her. I had to go forward.
it wasn't negotiable,
Not
definitely.
non-negotiable. Mhm,
I love it.
mhm.
Now, if I could take you back to go and meet the younger you, this young woman who was living in an intersectional world, trying to make a decision who she wanted to be, what she wanted with her life, and you went back and gave her three nuggets of wisdom. Based on what life has taught you up until this point, what would those three nuggets of wisdom be?
Number one nugget is never lose your faith. Always Always believe in yourself, always believe in the divine that things will work out. Number two, keep your finances together from day one itself. When you start working, make sure that you always save for a rainy day. And number three, never ever let anybody tell you that put you down, to have self confidence, to have faith in yourself, that you have a purpose in this world, that you have a driven purpose in this world, and drive yourself towards that purpose. Take whatever steps it necessary in order to achieve your dreams and goals, and to have faith that your path will be shown to you as well.
I love that. We've got a few comments coming in online. Nigel, thank you so much, Nigel, for chiming in from Vienna, Austria. Wonderful to have you with us on the show today.
Oh, I
Nigel always tunes
beautiful.
in. Yeah, yeah. So, my next question is now futuristic. If I could teleport you into the future to go and have a conversation with the 90-year-old you,
Mm.
she's sitting in her rocking chair, surrounded by her family. With your energy, you'll be on a dance floor somewhere, dancing away.
Uh,
If we could go and meet this wise woman who has led you up until this point, what will you say to her when you finally meet her? And I'll tell you why I love asking women this question. A lot of women don't realize that the wise woman is already here, that she's that quiet voice that whispers, go left, go right, say yes, say no. What will you say to your wise woman when you finally meet her?
be like, well, when I meet her, I'd be like, despite all the challenges, despite all the setbacks that happened, you had a wonderful life. You had an amazing, grateful life, that you were grateful for everything that happened, good, bad, and ugly, and that you've reached this point in your life, and to always be thankful for everything and anything that's happened.
Yes, everything happens for a reason, right?
Mhm.
Everything happens for a reason.
And you might not know that reason, but it will be revealed to you, is what I
Yeah.
firmly believe. You'll have revelations within yourself. That's the revelations, or whatnot, the epiphany, as they say, I guess, in English or whatnot, but you'll change. You'll feel yourself changing within.
That is so true. Nigel is just chiming in again. He said it's a coincidence I just posted the EU India trade deal. So he's on LinkedIn at the moment posting something, and you saw our podcast, and that's why he joined us.
Oh, nice.
Now, I have your website at the bottom of the screen. Tell us how you help people, how you help women, and if there's anything I should have asked you and I didn't.
Sure. So this is my website. I give a lot how I help women, and actually not just women, people of color, LGBTQI plus communities, and marginalized communities, in the sense that I give a lot of talks, educational talks and lectures about how to empower yourself, diversity and inclusion, and then also how to design with inclusion, and how to design with faith and cultural sensitivity. That's
Mhm.
number two. And number three, with museums, I work with museums in order to explain the spiritual significance behind different art objects as well too. And that too, because a lot of these objects were created by women as well too. People tend to forget that. And there's a
Mm,
certain way of creating these things that only women know. So that's another thing that I like to help in that sense as well. But also advocating also that there be more female voices within
mm,
within museum spaces, within beauty and fashion brands. Even though there are a lot of women working in beauty and fashion, they don't have the leadership roles that men do. You know,
yes,
so.
that is so, so true. Wow, thank you so much for coming online and sharing your story with our community today. It's a real honor to have you on. Thank you for the work that you're doing to empower other women as well.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Yes, thank you so much for having me, Trudy. Appreciate it, even with the time difference. That were so gracious. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
And thank you to everybody who tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We're a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share our stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to help take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you do need some help, some support, Sangeetha's website is at the bottom of the screen. Reach out and get the help that you need. Or if you know somebody else who needs help, please tag them on this video, share it on your social media. Let us reach more people by your sharing as well. So I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And thank you again for the interview. Bye for now, everybody.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story. Thank you.